Hey, liberals. Turns out CBS News admits to editing the Harris interview. That's right. I know. Boom! Breaking news, live and direct. Well, it turns out CBS News admits to editing the Harris interview. So what's going on? Let's get ready to talk about it because obviously Democrats, you guys and gals just don't have what it takes to really even do anything properly. So I'm pulling up this article here from RT just to trigger the libs. CBS News admits to editing Harris interview. See, now, if this had happened on Fox News with Trump, oh my goodness, would people, liberals, I know how you would react. But listen, folks, this is gold because once again, this gives evidence about why we need independent media, why we need to break apart the corporate monopoly in our media. So here we go. So former U.S. President Donald Trump has argued that the network cut the vice president's answers to make her sound less incoherent. CBS News said it had edited. Wait a minute, CBS News. What? That's not what you're supposed to do, CBS. I've done interviews, and I've never edited what my guests have said. Neither has Due Dissidence. Neither has RBN. Neither has a lot of people. So CBS News, you are an authoritative source according to the big tech like YouTube and Twitter and Facebook. But CBS News, I'm so sorry. Please, everyone, calm down the chat. Please don't panic. Please. I don't want to burst your bubble, but corporate news is it's not authentic. I know. It's time to bring everybody back down to reality. CBS News has said it edited U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris' 60 Minutes interview to make her seem more clear, accurate, and on point. I'm sorry, CBS, but you can edit it as much as you want, and no editor in the world can fix that disaster. It was a lie, and here's how I feel about lies.
All lies will be exposed.
Absolutely. Cat Williams is the prophet of our time. You ushered in 2024, and we do invite that man to be on our show. It's a long shot, and yes, I did send an email. I did send a message out, see if we could get him on. I think that's going to be remain in the void forever, but an attempt was made. However, the broadcaster denied. Former President Donald Trump's claims that doing so was deceitful. Yes, it was CBS. That is deceitful. In a preview of the interview aired on Face the Nation earlier this month, interviewer Bill Whittaker asked Harris if she believed that the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu was not listening to the U.S. amid the escalating conflict in the Middle East. Harris gave a rambling reply, telling Whittaker that the work that we have done has resulted in a number of movements in that region by Israel that were very much prompted by or a result of many things, including our advocacy of what needs to happen in the region. That is, I think I lose a brain cell if I try and read what Kamala Harris is trying to say. Because if anybody understood that, and I don't listen, no, it's a serious question. If there are people in the audience that understood that statement, type it in the comment section below. I need to know if you understood what that meant. I need to understand if anybody knew what those words meant, because I have no clue. I have no clue what that meant. Continuing on, when the full interview aired the following day, Harris' answer was changed to a shorter, clearer, we are not going to stop pursuing what is necessary for the United States to be clear about where we stand on the need for this war to end. Well, gee, that doesn't match what she said before. What is going on? What is happening here? Trump was furious, accusing CBS of covering up Harris' virtually incoherent answer and demanding the network lose its broadcast license and be sold to the highest bidder. I offer $1. Kit Cabello, that you're offering $1? Yeah, that's too high. I'd buy that for $1. I'm sorry. I need to be nicer. CBS stayed silent on the matter until Sunday, when it released a statement claiming that its editing was not deceitful. 60 Minutes gave an excerpt of our interview to Face the Nation that used a longer section of her answer than that on 60 Minutes. Same question, same answer, but a different portion of the response, the network explained. So we didn't really edit it. We just gave you two different things and decided to say, who cares about consistency? But consistency is key, especially if you're part of the media. When we edit any interview, whether a politician, an athlete, or a movie star, we strive to be clear, accurate, and on point all the time, every time, right? The portion of her answer in 60 Minutes was more succinct, which allows time for other subjects and a wide ranging 20-minute long segment. 21 minutes? Maybe, I don't know, man. 21 minutes. What the hell? That's stupid. The explanation did not satisfy the Trump campaign. 60 Minutes just admitted doing exactly what President Trump accused them of doing. The campaign sent a statement. They edited in a different response from another part of her answer to make Kamala Harris sound less incoherent than she really was. Their statement is not a denial. It is an admission that they did exactly what they were accused of. It is another reminder of how hopelessly biased 60 Minutes is and how correct President Trump was to decline their invitation to be subjected to their fake news hackery, the statement continued. CBS said that its invitation to Trump still stands, should he wish, to discuss the issues facing the nation and the Harris interview. The network has not released an unedited video or transcript of the full interview. Send us a full transcript, because I'm willing to bet that it's completely incoherent. Yeah, I bet it is. By the way, here is the full original statement from 60 Minutes. Former President Trump is accusing 60 Minutes of deceitful editing of our October 7th interview with Vice President Kamala Harris. That is false. Well, you guys just admitted that you changed the answer. Be consistent here or don't waste our time. Here's her full answer. 60 Minutes gave an excerpt of our interview to Face the Nation that used a longer section of her answer than that on the 60 Minutes. Same question, same answer, but a different portion of the response. When we edit any interview, whether a politician, an athlete, or movie star, we strive to be clear, accurate, and on point. The portion of her answer on 60 Minutes, goodness gracious, Cretaceous, was more succinct. Oh my goodness, which allows time for other subjects in the wide-ranging 21-minute long segment. Remember, Mr. Trump pulled out of his interview, no pun intended, with 60 Minutes, and the vice president participated. Our long-standing invitation to former President Trump remains open. If he would like to discuss the issues facing the nation and the Harris interview, we'd be happy to we'd have to have him on 60 Minutes. Well, gee, Democrats, I don't think that's going to happen. I really don't think that's going to happen, especially with all the BS that you've been throwing our way. This once again should show all of you. And unfortunately, while I would like to play that clip from 60 Minutes, when we have played that clip, folks, we got hit with a little strike. So we can't have that happen. Unfortunately, you lovely, beautiful people. But CBS is now admitting it. CBS is now saying it. And it's another example about why we need to break away from corporate media, why we need to break away from these institutions that fail us all the time, especially when it comes down to free speech, when it comes down to holding politicians accountable. And if they edited this interview, I like to have democracy in the chat. That's right. Controversial statement. What is democracy, Kit? I mean, Kit, you're talking about democracy. Well, what is it? Let's have democracy in the chat. Let's really talk about it. Let's really address what's happening in the room here. Type 1 for, and by the way, let's I want to be very clear with this question. Since they're saying that they edited or either that tried to make things look more succinct in a 21-minute long interview with Kamala Harris, you think they've done that with other interviews, with other politicians, mostly Democrats or liberal adjacent Hollywood people? If you think they've done it, type 1 for no, Kit. This is just a fluke, a blip on the radar. Shame on you. You really are a bad man. Type 2, man, I'm willing to bet they've edited other interviews. I mean, how many times did they probably edit interviews with Biden? I got to say, folks, I got to say, I don't think CBS is the only one guilty of it, because I wonder how many twos will be in the chat. I wonder how many twos will be in the chat, because how many times do you think people had to edit stuff for Biden? Rambling and stuttering or being off point or maybe taking his brain medicine. I'm willing to bet they did it. I mean, it's not too far out there, but maybe you, the audience, know better, because you know what? I want to get your thoughts. So type. Give us your thoughts. But also, since this revelation is going on, it's once again proving that Trump was correct, especially in regards to his thoughts on how unfortunately, on how CBS has been running things. And it gives more fuel to the fire about why we need to break away from the entire political establishment, why we need to break away from corporate media. They're willing to do this. They're willing to lie. They're willing to lie. They're willing to lie. They're willing to lie because they know that they can trick the American people. If you're not upset, if you're not enraged, I don't know what to tell you anymore. But our media doesn't work for us. Our media doesn't represent us. And our media is designed to keep us suppressed. Get angry, folks. Because if they're willing to edit interviews of politicians and athletes and movie stars and everything else in between because they want to keep us obedient, it's a way to trick us into thinking that the system works and those in positions of authority know what they're talking about. They don't. It's all one big game. And I'm just going to plug this. If you really want to see how corporate media is really run and the psychopaths involved in it, check out the show Succession. It will be abundantly clear why our system needs a change and why we need to have independent media now more than ever.
I guess this isn't such an awful place. Is that what you want me to say? You prove it's possible to sleep for days and to still think you're right here awake. The cost of living isn't much to make, but God, it's so hard to save. And when they told you everything was safe, were you safe? Were you safe? Were you safe? Were you safe? I guess this isn't such an awful place. Is that what you want me to say? You prove it's possible to sleep for days and to still think you're right here awake. The cost of living isn't much to make, but God, it's so hard to say. And when they told you everything was safe, were you safe? Were you safe? Were you safe? Were you safe?
Fresh off the masses, the brand new cancerous growth, who has come here to vie for your vote. Come here to cry at the camps and to mourn at the shore for the bodies that float by the wreck of an immigrant boat. Then it's back to their luxury home, couple security booths and a moat. Couple cigars, little escargot, little booze and a soak. Just breathe in the steam and the smoke. Pink salt, lavender, candles are low. Shit, when you do what you do, gotta lighten the load. And he got a life of his own that's a sight to behold. And it's a lot to control, to decipher the code, or to siphon the soul. The cost of a good night's sleep for the working elite is a bargain, no matter the toll. Worth any wager, and that comes straight from the mouth of the means to the goal that will swallow us whole. Ripe for the picking if you don't mind mold, and you know I don't. Maybe we're pleasantly prone, maybe we're taking a licking, compliantly ticking and ticking and ticking, but never explode. No, I don't deliver the prettiest image, but damn if it isn't an accurate vision of natural fission, of rage at the system and abject heartbreak, patiently waiting for any who will listen. That little blue bird who was watching your words is a federal carrier pigeon, a Langley first. It's a patient observer who hears what it wants and is trained for the worst. Oh, you got nothing to hide. They'll be the ones to decide that after they root through your purse, after they read all your text, after they raid your apartment, confiscate all of its contents, then conjure up evidence out of the air on a wing and a prayer and malicious intelligence nonsense. Any presumption of innocence long since gone, right along with your comforts and constants. Historically first they will come for the communists. So why in the fuck would I say I'm a communist? Well, it might be I love my community more than the monsters of opulence who are holding us hostage. who are vomiting promises. Might be I'm all done seeing our pensions and benefits harvested. Might be I'm all done watching the populace being disarmed in the guise of an armistice. Watching a woman collapse on the floor who will rise no more. She is wheeled out the door and you're next in line for the pharmacist. If you can get me to vote, it's a hard no confidence. But part of the charm of deception is politics wearing the mask of incompetence. It's all in the art of austerity, darling. It's all in the slide of the providence. Until home is as wide as your cubicle height and is only as deep as your coffin is. Maybe I'm miles away from impatience, aching to break off the head of the snake where the capital lust, reptile brain, and the margin of profit is. Like off with his. Like off with his.
I guess this isn't such an awful place. Is that what you want me to say? You prove it's possible to sleep for days and to still think you're right here awake. The cost of living isn't much to make, but God, it's so hard to save. And when they told you everything was safe, were you safe?